Hi, my name is Ann Spencer. My husband is John. We have 4 children. I was born in Thailand and then moved to Laos and lived there for 15 years. I was working for the U.S. Embassy. I remember it was just like yesterday when the young college students are coming to our building to take over the American Embassy. So we have to leave the building. And so what we did, we went across the street and watching all these bus came in with a college student. So once they go in, they kind of destroyed our stuff, and I can see my purse flying out the window. So from then on, we cannot go back to work. We were forced to watch the propaganda movie, and we were the elderly was forced to go to the celebration party to removal of the king. And while they're dancing, and you can see the tears running down from their faces. And the king was then, because when the communists came in, when the Viet Cong and Pathet Lao came in, they captured the king, because the king was refused to leave his people. So he later died in the camp. So after that, we were also forced to report. We were told to report to the Viet Cong or the Pathet Lao court. It used to be in the City Hall building. So one by one, they have called us and tell us what our faults are. For instance, if you're the soldier, you're at fault because you fought with the Viet Cong. And if you were the driver that was hired by the military, you at fault because you have helped to send the king's soldiers to fight with them. So I was at fault because I have the embassy typewriter in my possession besides working for the U.S. Embassy. When you work for American, you are the CIA, but then I didn't even know what the CIA was. So pretty soon, half of the room, you can see most of the half of the room will be full of the people that have done something wrong according to their judgment. And those people were about to have to send it to the work camp. And I was almost in that group. Luckily that my neighbor have a boyfriend who's in with this Pathet Lao, have cleared me, so I was safe. And from then on, no one would talk to each other, even friend and neighbor. Like if you walk across the street, on the street, and you will pretend like you don't know each other because you were afraid that you never know who is going to be spy, for the Pathet Lao. So it has been like that for so many years before the people start talking to each other again. I was lucky enough to be able to get out with the help of the embassy. But since the first time I arrived, it was in San Antonio, and we have our sponsor, retired Lieutenant Colonel John Taylor. He has picked us up for the airport and took us to the apartment so that we can live for free while we are getting a job. So they encouraged us to get a job right away, even though the people will inform me that we were qualified to get a welfare from the government. But Mr. Taylor have let us know that we need to get a job, and we should be able to get a job, and we don't need to be in the welfare. So that's what we did. Within 48 hours, we got a job. I found my first job was at Pizza Hut. So, and so we've been working, and all this time that we were in the U.S., we have never need any help, assistance from the government at all. Yeah, the comparison between when I was living in Laos before communists took over, and I was living in the life of freedom. And now from after the, just overnight, when the political change, the communists took over, and everybody would just kind of get scared and would not speak to each other. And what else?
Your neighbors became suspicious?
Oh yes, everybody, and the neighbor or friend, and we just don't know who's going to be spy, who is spying on us. So that's why everybody kind of shut up. Young generation, you know, like even college student, high school, they also wanted to make some change. They were thinking that, you know, they wanted to make some change, and they go out to vote, and they don't really know. They assume that, okay, if you vote for the Obama, the Democrat, you are helping the poor. If you are Republican, you're voting for the rich. They were uninformed. So, but that's what they presumed, that, you know, they were trying to help the poor. So since I was in Laos, so I can see what's going on, the difference now, and then I feel like now we are getting to be like Laos, you know, by have a lot of young college students in Laos that go out there and rivalry and against the American and try to get rid of American, but they all end up coming over here because no one can live with the communists over there. If you know better, they all come here. So when I went to Canada, and I found some college students that now they are teachers, they even teach in Canada and stuff, and we get together. So I asked them, hey, what happened? You guys, you are the one who go to the embassy and try to get rid of American, you know, and now you are end up here in America living in a wonderful life. They say, we don't know any better. Our professor have sent in the bus and tell us to get in and tell us what to do, so we did. So the same thing that's happening over here, a lot of people who don't know what's going on, they will go out to vote. I miss Laos, but I went to visit Laos. They're not the same anymore. So I wouldn't say miss. So now the people can speak up. Since the communists now used to be, you know, they thought that they are very good, they're fair and everything, but they're not. There are so many corruption in Laos right now. And even though the people get mad, and I can see that even if the foreign people that have the money will go in Laos and try to invest something, they can give the money to the head of the Pathet Lao people who's in charge. And they give the money and they can take over. And they also took over the old hospital, which is like in the center, the hospital in town. And now it became the hotel, you know, and they moved the hospital outside the city. So it's very difficult for the people who wanted to go to the hospital. And the country getting pretty dirty. And you can see now is the tourist town pretty much. Everywhere is the hotel, even the little room and everywhere is the hotel. And after they turned that hospital into the very high-class, expensive hotel. And a lot of housing has destroyed, and the communists, the Pathet Lao, well, Pathet Lao is communist, you know, and have when they came in, they used to live in the forest or something. They don't really know how to take care of the houses, you know. They even when it's winter time comes, they even make fire inside the house, you know, to get warm. And now the people did speak up, so the people have told me about what's going on, and they will also take over the houses when the people who left Laos to come to the free country. and they left their houses down. So if they go back, it's not their house anymore. They have let somebody else take over their houses, even the government. And then the government might have, sell it to the regular people. So Laos is not the same, and they have also the Viet Cong flag, right in the center of the city. So pretty much it's communist. Oh, and I also have the sister of my sister-in-law, who also working for the radio station in Luang Prabang. And one day we sit around, we eat, and I was asking her what is she doing at the radio station, and she said, oh yeah, I play music and we talk politics. And I said, really, you can talk politics too in Laos? She said, yeah, but then whatever the Pathet Laos say, they're right. It's unbelievable, you can talk, but whatever they say, they're right. I think it takes experience, then just like me, I have been there, so I know. And also my father and mother, they're Chinese. They have run away from communists in China, so they settled in Laos. And then, we thought that we were safe, and then Laos became communist, and I'm over here. At first time I was here, I thought that I'm safe. This is like the last person on earth that you can be free. And now look what happened. It's going to be like moving to the wrong direction. That's what I'm really afraid of. I remember that we cannot tell anyone that we are leaving, because then if you're gonna go from province to province, you have to have a approval. You have to have a paper in case they go to the checkpoint somewhere. You have to check and see if you're authorized to leave. And so we did not tell anyone that we're leaving. Everything is the same. We have a car, it's still there, the house still there. Well, we rented the house anyway, all our belongings. We only take what we can. And what we did, I went to my sister, and then my sister just took me to the border in Thailand, and then we just said that, oh, we're just going to visit the Thai. So we did, and we just never come back. We stay in Thai for a while until we get the paperwork ready, and luckily I was working for the embassy. Then we have a pretty easy way to get here and get help. And I heard that a lot of people are not so lucky when they try to get across, especially after a lot of people leaving the city already, so they're more tightened. So they check more, so the people really, a lot of people have died by crossing the Mekong River, because sometimes they go and stop, and the people in Thailand that were supposed to help them get across the Mekong River, and sometimes some part of the river is not so deep, but people don't know how to swim, so they will hire some guy to put them in the back and go across the river. And the guy that was supposed to help know that these people must have money, so what they did, they drowned them and took the money. So it happened, so many things happen, horrible things happen. And a lot of times we don't even want to talk about it, so it's kind of sad. My sponsor, because since me and my ex-husband, then we were both working for the embassy, and Lieutenant Colonel John Taylor, he was working over there with the USAID, which is U.S. Aid to Laos. So we all work together. So in order to come over here, you need to get a sponsor. A lot of people have a sponsor from the church or something like that. So our sponsor was to be able to show us around, and what to do. So I remember the first time we arrived in San Antonio, I have my 2 kids, a year and a half a year. So we were looking for, so what they did, he had the apartment for us. Okay, and the gentleman, Mr. Little, he passed away now. Nice. So what he did, he said, oh, look, this is your apartment. You don't have a job. You do not have to pay me. And we don't want you to go to the welfare. There are so many people that have the right, mind, the knowledge, they know that was helping us. So without this help, it would be difficult for us. So Mr. Taylor then, the next day after he settled us down in the apartment, in the morning I get up and I'll be looking for the place where I can wash my clothes and hang it. We didn't have the washateria. So Mr. Taylor came in the next morning and showed us the washateria and showed us how to use the stove, the oven. We don't have that, we use charcoal then. And so he took us around to the grocery store, and then he took us around looking for a job. I remember because of the time change, the jet lag. So I was really pretty sleepy then, when we were driving around looking for a job. I finally get a job, but pretty easy then, I guess. We only looking for a few places. And I finally found a job at the Pizza Hut. And again, the owner of this Pizza Hut have know where I came from, and he also trying to help. So whatever the pay of that time was, the minimum wage that time, I remember that he gave me a quarter more than minimum wage. So, so I was working there for almost a year at Pizza Hut. I worked there for a few months, and then I became the assistant manager. And then it was getting pretty tough to be assistant manager. You have to close, and and with my English, it's good thing that I speak some English because I was working for the embassy. But then there's nothing like when you really come here and you really have to, to get the people to understand your English. I remember when I was working for Pizza Hut, and the customer, one of the lady got really mad at me because she said she wanted to order Dr. Pepper to go. I said, to go? And she was mad. But then I have met some very, very nice. Our Pizza Hut is in San Antonio and just down the street from Randolph Air Force Base. And while I was waiting on the table, and we have a lot of military guys come in and eat lunch there. And with me, nervous and carry, iced tea, pizza, and everything, and we were busy at lunch. I have dropped the whole big glasses of iced tea in the gentleman's bag in his uniform. The blue shirt uniform, just drop it on his back. I just thought I was gonna die. And he was very nice. He get up and he said, don't worry, everything is fine, I can wash this. And then he left and gave me a big tip. And then in the evening, he came back with his whole family for dinner. So, you can see some people that don't understand, and some people are very, very nice. So it really helped. And I wish I can see him again. So we have pretty good. I think even though, it's a lot of hard work, at first I have to walk to work, and after that I'll be able to get a bicycle to work. And once I have the bicycle, and one day I was trying to get a shortcut to work, because we live in a Cibolo, and we have to go to work in church. I don't know, maybe a couple miles or something. We have to pass, from one little town to another town. And I was trying to get a shortcut to the subdivision, and I got lost. I couldn't get out. I was sitting there on the footpath and just started crying. And then I still don't remember how I even get out there. That was funny. But, everything is good. This is the country that everybody wants to come. So I feel like whenever you hear the people say that, they hate us, I think they're probably more jealous of us to be here.